here to help you with breeze, planting seeds and teaching skills. Teachers turn schoolyards to dreams. Oh, hey, school gardens with ease.
Hello and welcome to School Gardens with Ease podcast. This is episode number 6, and I am your host, Leila Mireskandari. And in this episode, we'll be switching gears and talking about a probably controversial topic: how school gardens are overrated and classroom gardens overly underrated and ignored to the point that almost no teacher grows them. And I am not talking about house plants, office plants, whatever you call those, those non edible plants that sit in the corner of your classroom looking green and pretty. I mean, nothing against them. Having any greenery in your classroom is better than nothing, obviously. But the classroom gardens that I am talking about are indoor educational food producing gardens. Now, teachers are usually split into 3 different categories when it comes to growing food with their class. Those who are willing to go all the way to an outdoor school garden or an expensive indoor garden, such as, I don't know, hydroponics and aquaponics, those are category number 1. And then there's those who will not grow at all because those school gardens or expensive equipment gardens are, they seem too much to them and they are out of reach, and they feel that they have no knowledge of growing any type of garden, especially food gardens, and they just never go about it. And then there's the third category of teachers who are those who have like things like a toothpicked avocado seed in a glass of water in the corner of the classroom, or occasionally grow, a beanstalk or two, usually at the wrong time of year, and then, send those home to die. I don't mean to be harsh, but you and I both know the fate of those single beanstalks that are going home in the middle of winter. Those are not going to grow any food for no one. Is it good to show kids germination? Yes, of course. But that's all there is to it in terms of the educational aspects. And it's not much empowering. I mean, I would even argue that it is disappointing when those plants shiver down and die at home. And to the very young students and very sensitive ones, even traumatizing. So teachers either are, outdoor school garden or expensive equipment gardeners, or they are completely afraid of school gardens and don't go near it, or they are growing occasionally with very little positive impact. Now, if you are in a fourth category and you're growing classroom gardens that are, producing food, please contact me. I would really love to know you and know that you are as special. There aren't that many teachers like you. I mean, unless you're a teacher who follows me, have learned from me, have attempted my workshops, or have been in one of my Oasis programs. Now, why is it this way? Because school gardens are overrated and classroom gardens are underrated and essentially non existent. It doesn't have to be that way, and I am on a mission to change that. I believe every student deserves to learn how to grow their own food and veggies just like they deserve to learn how to read and write and math and all the other good stuff. And I know not every teacher has access to outdoor gardens or aquaponics equipments and such. And I also know that growing food in the classroom is doable, inexpensive, and accessible for all teachers. Now, we need to talk about that, and I'll keep talking about it until the cows come home. Classroom gardens are not looking hot these days, but they totally could. So let's give them a reputational makeover and fix this once and for all. Now, before I get into it, I'd like to clarify something. I am a total fan of outdoor school gardens, and I've grown and have helped teachers grow countless of them very successfully. And I have an entire system to grow them with ease. And I have 2 outdoor school garden programs in the Oasis Suite of programs of mine. Also, I have a lot of respect for those teachers who take on those expensive equipment indoor projects and get them to success, because those are a lot of responsibility and they need a lot of dedication and hard work. Okay, so what I'm about to tell you is not out of disrespect for anyone, and it certainly is not out of dislike for school gardens, because I love them. Okay, it's out of love for those 99% of teachers, and that's a guessed number. Okay, don't quote me on that. Who are looking at those 2 options, the outdoor school gardens and the expensive equipment gardens, not liking what they see and still wishing there was an easier, less expensive, and better way to grow food with their class that is impactful and empowering. Now that that's clear and out of the way, let me tell you why I think outdoor school gardens and those expensive equipment indoor gardens are overrated. Now, let's start with the obvious one, the indoor expensive equipments. First of all, they're expensive. Second of all, they need the teachers to become specialized scientists. They have a very steep learning curve and they are time consuming, error prone, unforgiving for at least the duration of the learning curve. Difficult is what they are. Please, who has time and energy for those types of gardens? Almost no teacher does. And the educational return on investment of money, time, and energy is very questionable. I don't think anyone could argue with that other than those who want to sell you those equipment. No offense intended. If you are an educator who has grown those types of gardens successfully with your students, and connected it to your curriculum, and grew a lot of food too, contact me. I would love to hear from you. I would even interview you. Let's learn from you, honestly. But I have never seen it doable with ease for all kinds of teachers. And that's why I think those are overrated. Now, let's talk about outdoor school gardens and why those are overrated. Because if not done carefully and strategically, they can easily become a money pit, a huge headache, a lot of work for teachers and parents with very little educational benefits. There is a right way and lots of wrong ways to grow them. And they are often a source of exhaustion, frustration, and resentment for teachers. Outdoor gardens have summer maintenance, especially if they're done wrong. They need access to land. They usually require jumping through hoops for approvals. If done the wrong way, they need a lot of funds and money. And even if they are done the right way, they still need a little bit more funds than classroom gardens do. They do have a bigger learning curve than classroom gardens. They are out of teachers' control in many ways because they're outside in the land, in the schoolyard, instead of being in the teacher's classroom. And if done for the sake of just growing a garden to show off that we grew a garden, and no offense to anyone, but this happens more often than you think. And it wasn't used as a teaching tool to teach the curriculum, then all of that hard work was for nothing. I mean, well, maybe good for a few pictures that you took for the school's profile when you tweeted them, but that is a very low bar and it shouldn't satisfy you because a school garden's success should be measured by the educational benefits it brought to your students. So the educational return on investment of time, energy, and money, if done right, is huge, but if done wrong, is very questionable. Plus, jumping straight to outdoor gardens is frankly scary for most teachers, and I, for one, can't blame them. But indoor classroom gardens are easier. They need less money. They need no approvals, are under teachers' control, and accessible to all kinds of teachers. And I say they are underrated because no one knows how amazing, producing, and impactful they could be. I'll tell you all about it and how to grow them in the next episode. Let's give classroom gardens a reputational makeover and make them a hot topic because they are that other option that you've been looking for. I promise you that. Talk to you soon in the next week's episode. You've listened to the entire episode, and for that, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please leave me a review on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And please share this episode with other teachers who might be interested in this topic. See you next week for a new episode.